Okay, what's up there, people? Hunterspoke Riders here, and I'm just started to install my Fender Eliminator kit. I started reading the instructions, and they said the first step was to pull the side panels off, which I wasn't really expecting that. I thought I could just, for some reason, take the seat off and be able to access that stock Fender, to access all this right here. Through that little opening, but they're saying I need to pull the side panels off. I almost didn't want to do this because I didn't really have a repair manual. I wasn't sure how to pull the side panels off. These newer sport bikes are nothing like the older sport bikes like my Jigster, where everything comes off with a bolt or a screw or something, you know. This one has a lot of panels that you gotta pop off, and I really wasn't too comfortable doing that. But I got on YouTube, watched a few videos. There was a key video, I don't remember what the guy's name is. I'll give him a shout out on the video in the description or something. Watch his video, starts with an M or something. I don't remember what his name is, but I watched the video. He's got a Z1000, I think it's a couple years older, but it's pretty much the same bike. And he explained I gotta pop these out. This one I popped out with a flathead screwdriver wrapped with electrical tape. This is the first piece I pulled out right here. Yeah, you gotta pull out 2, maybe 3 screws, and the rest of it, or 2 screws and a bolt. There's a big bolt. This big bolt here you had to pull out because it went through here and it hooked all together. Anyway, I got this panel off here. So I got the first side panel off, and now we gotta work on the second side panel. I really wasn't comfortable. I almost scratched it right here. I really wasn't comfortable with the whole flathead screwdriver wrapped with electrical tape. So I went to Harbor Freight and picked up plastic pry bar kit type of deal. It's nothing too fancy. Picked up that set, picked up this set. So I only got to worry about scratching and marred up my brand new bike. So now that I got that, I'm back in action with this Fender Eliminator install. So this is pretty much a complete kit right here in the package. I've taken it all out and checked everything, make sure everything is there. That's the plan right now, is to get this bad boy installed. Okay, I got the other side off here. It's kind of a crazy design, how this works, but it's real hard to explain. But once you get it, and once you figure it out, it's quite simple, but it's kind of nerve-wracking because at the same time, if you don't know, if you've never done it before, you feel like you're about ready to break this piece. There's these little tabs right here, and if you can get something in there and just push up on the tabs, and pull out on the wedger, it'll just pop right out. I know once I do this more than over and over again, it'll be easier and easier each time. But yeah, that first time doing it was pretty nerve-wracking. I got the 2 side panels off, and that was the major hurdle for me right there. So now I gotta just get the instructions and see what is my next move. I'm not gonna call this a how-to video. This is more like just the install video, because I definitely not qualified to be giving nobody else advice, but maybe something I'm doing will help somebody else out. So far, the hardest part of this is breaking them little tabs piece for the side panel. That bolt that was in here, it seemed to be on there awful strong, awful tight for a bolt, factory bolt, but I got it broke free and I'm continue on. The next step of this is there are 4 hex bolts in here and 2 Phillips screwdriver screws. The next step is pulling these out. It's about the time you probably want to hold it so it doesn't fall all off and be dangling by most likely the wires. And it's loose, but it's not out yet. Now, the next step of this is you're going to have to split your stock fender or the stock tail in half to get to the turn signals and take the turn signals off. In order to do that, you're going to need an 8mm socket I ended up having to use an 8mm socket and a 10mm. There's a series of screws and a Phillips screwdriver. What you do is you pull the screws out the side of it first. There's 2 screws in the side. And then you got to use the 8mm to pull this little light off. This little reflector. I mean, it's not light. It's just a little red reflector. You pull this off. That's all holding together. And then there's, you got to pull your license plate light cover off. That's 2 little Phillips screws also. And then there's a bolt that actually, it was bolted in right here. And you pull that off. Once you pull all them out, then you split your stock tail in half and you can get to your wires. And I'm assuming the next step of this is to unscrew. There's a Phillips screw right here. And that's what's holding on your stock turn signals. Now the kit I have, you have an option. Now, I'm going to use the stock turn signals. I really didn't feel the need to switch to LED turn signals right now. Yeah, I'll probably do it in the near future, but seeing the front is still stock. When I do make the switch to LED, I want to switch everything. So for now, I'm just going to use the stock turn signals, and it works well with this kit. So far, this job's been pretty frustrating, but I'm getting there by taking my time. If you're going to use your factory turn signals on this kit, you're not going to want to cut the wires. You want to try to get them out intact. I got one of the turn signals out, and it has a little plug. The little plugs are very frustrating to get to. With the proper tools, I'm sure it'd be easy, but I know what I needed. I didn't have it. I didn't feel like going back and getting it, so I made it work with what I had without breaking anything. What I do inside there's this plug, and if anybody knows anything about these plugs, sometimes they're difficult to get out. I just push down the tab. It's on the inside of the bike. It's hard to get to. It's hard to see. I'm not even gonna waste my time trying to show you. There's these connector plugs. Just take your time, pull it out the right way. Don't break them. You can't get them out. And then get this one out. And then I still have my turn signal on the 1/2 of the stock tail. You see the plug right there. So I guess since I have this all almost apart, I could show you a little closer what all is involved in getting this off this. There's a screw. I don't know if you can see that. There's a screw right in there. You gotta pull that screw out right there. Just gonna put that screw right in there. Once you get that screw out of there, there's a little plate, a little cover, and you gotta have to pull that cover off. That little cover there. Pull that little cover off. After that, there's another little cover right here. You pull this little cover off. Now, once you get this cover off, all it is a little, let me take the screw out of here. Doesn't get in my way. Once you get this cover off, all it is a little rubber piece holding it in. So you're just gonna have to twist it, and it'll pop right off of there. All intact, nothing broken. I did drop a little piece, but I'll put it in there later. And that's how you take the turn signals off of the half of the factory tail. This right here, yes, you can take it off all in one piece like the tail lights, all right, like the turn signals. You're not going to use this with the new kit because the new kit comes with LED tag brackets. Therefore, even the instructions say just cut it. Now, if you for any reason want to put this factory tail back on, like let's say you're the type to only keep a bike for a couple years and you want to put the factory stuff back on before you trade it in or whatever, go through the steps and take it off. It's going to be a pain in the butt. I'm not going to do it because I keep my bikes pretty much forever. This is getting cut off because it doesn't you don't use this part with the new kit. So this is getting cut off. I didn't film every single part, every single way. Once again, this is not really a how-to video. This is just an install video, maybe to give you a couple tips, a couple pointers. This kit came with a license plate frame. Came with this license plate frame. You have an option to use it or not to use it. I'm not going to use it. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't really want it. It goes right here. This kit has the Yoshimura engraved, kind of like right there. I don't need that. I don't need the logo at the top and the bottom. If you don't use your license plate frame, you have to use your plate itself as part of the Fender Eliminator kit. The brackets holding it on. Never mind my little homemade plate cover. I didn't really want to show my plate all online like that, so I'm being lazy. I don't really feel like blurring it out, so there you have it. Yeah, but anyway, it's pretty much self-explanatory. The instructions were great. These came with very good instructions. The hardest part of this was actually taking them side panels off for the first time, you know, because it felt so shaky. This is not 100% done. The only thing I have left to do now is wire up plate light that shines. It has like little LEDs that shine down right here. Once I wire that up, it's a simple setup. Red goes to red, black goes to black. These little connectors, little crimp connectors that came with the kit, I'm gonna use these. And I'm gonna also use some heat shrink that I have left over from when I did my DR650 Fender Eliminator. Just because it has a cover over here and a cover over here, and I don't want the wires out, even with the butt connectors, I don't want them to be exposed. So I'm just gonna put a little heat shrink on there just to clean it up and make it look a little bit better. I'm not gonna film myself doing that. That's pretty self-explanatory. All you need really is a heat gun and some heat shrink, which I bought all that last week when I did the Fender Eliminator kit on my DR650. Okay, people, it's pretty much a done deal. No more dragon tail hanging off the back of the bike. Give you a quick side profile of it. Looks a hell of a lot better with that Fender Eliminator kit. And I'm pretty happy with how everything worked out, how everything looks now. Everything's working. You can't really see it too well out here in the daytime, but if you want to see in the garage, dark little short clip of the LED plate light, check out my Instagram page. I put little short clips up there on my Instagram page. Or if you're not on the Instagram, you can follow me on my Facebook page, because everything that goes on Instagram goes on Facebook. I know some people don't deal with Facebook, some people don't deal with Instagram, so I don't know. If you want to see the little short clip of it in the dark, you get a better view of it. But definitely happy with the Yoshimura Fender Eliminator kit. This is what I needed for the bike, make it look a little bit better. In my opinion, don't have all that tail sticking out the back of it. It's kind of dark, so I don't know if you can see up in there too well, but as you see, all the wires have been shrink wrapped. I'm sorry, heat shrinked tubing, and really the only wire I cut was the one for the stock bulb plate light, because it's I replaced it with the LED one from the kit. These are all factory wires. Everything is tucked up in there nice and neat. Ain't no wires hanging, ain't no wires showing. And it looks like pretty much a clean little install there. I'm happy with the outcome. In closing, there you have it, people. Fender Eliminator kit done. 100-Spoke Riders signing out with a brand new Yoshimura Fender Eliminator kit.